This show is produced by the Hartman Media Company. For more information and links to all our great podcasts, visit hartmanmedia.com.
Speakers, publishers, consultants, coaches, and info marketers unite. The Speaking of Wealth Show is your roadmap to success and significance. Learn the latest tools, technologies, and tactics to get more bookings, sell more products, and attract more clients. If you're looking to increase your direct response sales, create a big-time personal brand, and become the go-to guru, the Speaking of Wealth Show is for you. Here's your host, Jason Hartman.
Hey, it's my pleasure to welcome Christopher Shank to the show, otherwise known as CT with WizKru, and he is an expert. I have heard him speak about it today at a mastermind retreat here at our friend Ryan Moran's house in Austin, Texas. He is an expert on visual storytelling. Now, you've all heard about the importance of storytelling. A lot of you have studied The Hero's Journey and Joseph Campbell's work there and many others' work as well in the world of storytelling. And this is an incredibly important skill. It's a skill that can hopefully help you make viral video content. Chris, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, it's good to have you. So, visual storytelling, what's the secret to this? It seems like the holy grail.
Yeah, I think there's, especially in a world full of distractions and in the social media world, it seems that everyone and a lot of brands and companies are trying to fight for attention. It's really about being able to create a connection and develop trust with people first and foremost. And I think as marketers and being a marketer myself for the last 15 years, I started finding myself very tired of seeing kind of some of the same people coming right out of the gate trying to sell something, trying to grow their business or trying to sign up for something or become a part of this thing. What I started feeling was missing was the idea of what does it take to create a connection with someone. And that's what you're talking about, Joseph Campbell and the Hero's Journey. It really is about the story arc and being able to, really to create a connection through an experience and telling someone's story. And that for me was the heart of okay, if we remove the need for business, what do we have? And we have this idea of, okay, when I'm going to sit here and tell you my story about something, if it's compelling and I'm not dragging it on, then the idea, the power behind that is that you can almost go along that journey with me. Mm-hmm. And the power of that when you're introducing someone for the first time is that great first impression. It's the best one that you could have. And for example, you see a lot of things like TEDx or some of the videos that you probably you can remember right now are ones that generally are probably doing this absolutely the best. So with what we're doing is how can we extract that thing? And a lot of times what we're doing is it's in the form of a full-on interview, maybe something like what we're doing here. But we try to condense that into something that's completely ready for social media platform algorithms, right? And that looks something like the first 3 seconds. We have people, that's the time it takes to swipe from bottom back up to the top, right?
Yeah, attention spans are incredibly short.
Yeah, and so it's about doing it in a way that someone feels like, oh, what am I going to, we call it like the shiny object syndrome, is that I want to stop someone in their feed first and foremost. And then from there, there's a lot of various ways that we've attempted this. Sometimes that's by adding a title at the very top of the video, or just using a very powerful first 3 seconds that's visual. But because most people actually are not listening, the audio sounds off. The majority of it's like 80%, I think now. And the idea is that you want to be able to grab their attention so that they'll stop and then hopefully either tap or then maybe not have something with sound still, is to grab their attention and then carry on through what we call engagement loops. So it's like the story is kind of like almost throughout the end, something along the lines of, I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons of why you're, spending too much time on social media, and I just made that up right now. But the idea is, can we go from there? And then they go, I just naturally, in psychology, you just want to know what the 3 answers are now. Uh-huh. So almost you have their attention throughout the end. And then inside of that, using compelling individual reasons along with some B-roll to create the most compelling version of that condensed. So let's say it's a 20-minute interview. I would try to condense that in, let's say, ideally we do 4 to 6 minutes max, but if we can do it in 2 to 3 minutes, it's even better. And so,
yeah. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to assume, and I think you've already maybe made this assumption, that everybody listening agrees that stories are powerful. So let's skip all that,
Sure.
And let's go back to what you were talking about how you tell a story. And then not only how you tell a story, but how do you tell a story on video?
Yeah, so a lot of especially when we call it visual storytelling, right, is that in today's age, it's very important that we can script something out, but the idea is that it's from the very beginning is like really grabbing their attention, and then with that being kind of like the number 3 reasons, and at the very end giving someone the thing that they came to look for. If you can do that, and in the middle you can create some emotion up and down, especially a couple curves, you've got yourself a story. Now what's in there, it really just depends on, for me, I'm usually trying to help people tell their own story. So it's like, here was something that I was challenged with. I've struggled my whole life with getting the right attention. And then throughout that story arc, our goal would be to try and really tell some compelling pieces of their story that, I struggle with this, or I struggle with that, but then I found this success. And then my life lesson is this. That would be kind of some key elements to an entire story arc that usually we pull from a longer form video. Maybe it's a 45-minute interview, and I crunch it down into like 2 to 4 minutes.
That's amazingly difficult to do that, isn't it?
It is, which is why it's easier when we have 45 minutes to work with. Right. You can usually pull something out of that.
Oh, so you'd rather have more to work with to edit it down shorter than less to work with?
It's just if I was to hit record and I've got 4 minutes, I would almost need to it's better to be a full script at that point versus, but it doesn't work as well as when it's just a natural conversation and then I maybe use 2 different camera angles and through that creatively edit a really good 4 minutes. That's just, if there's an I'm thinking, we pull that out. We want something that's literally keeps their attention because you delay for just a couple of extra seconds and those people are just going to swipe. And so you want to really, this is what we call these engagement loops, is that we try to do things. Another thing that we started adding is like a little progress bar. You may have seen this in some videos, is that you'll see that as the video starts, there's like this little time, progress bar that's going across the bar. So you can at least your mind knows that you are going somewhere and you're wanting it to finish. And so there's all these things that in the psychology world, we play with in order to try and keep someone's attention.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. So CT, you talk about that progress bar. I love that idea, by the way, because it gives people a sense of accomplishment. Like, look, I've watched this much. I've only got this much to go. And that's great. What other things do you do in, the use of B-roll and other elements?
Yeah, so being able to help illustrate someone's idea is another part of that visual storytelling. Because if I'm trying to tell you my story and you're just staring at my face, it's not as interesting as when...
You know what? That amazes me too. That people have YouTube videos and they're just a talking head. I wonder why I even need this on video. Why isn't it just an audio?
Yeah, exactly. And the idea for helping to illustrate that idea, for one, we put the captions, the transcriptions on the video so that you're able to kind of see what someone's saying. Another reason for that is because most people don't use the audio. But for some reason, just like, reading and listening, if you're able to do both, it really helps to formulate and remember, But also, we use creative B-roll. So we try to find, as we're doing this, once the video is edited, or in the editing process, we typically try to find clips that we can find usually online with having the rights to do so. We use clips that will help to illustrate what that person's saying to really drive the message home.
Any examples on that?
Yeah, so we did a video with an author by the name of Jamie Wheel, and he was really inspired by the music video, This Is America. And he's like, man, I got so much to say about this. So he went on a rant about it, in a 6-minute rant. And we took that and we were able to use clips of the video. So he was able to play. He was talking about certain lines of the actual music video. And when we were interviewing him, I was kind of like, I'm not really sure about this. But then, because I wasn't following what he was saying. But in the final version of that video, we were able to help illustrate exactly what he was saying as he was saying it by showing the clips of the video, by showing other supporting versions of other clips of, like, he talked about Madonna and he talked about some of these other people because he's trying to talk about, in general, he was talking about what he was doing is ultimately helping to kind of drive us to a new era of understanding by using controversial things. And so, in a way, it was also controversial, and because we were able to hit kind of all the points of virality, we were able to get over 1 million views on that video alone.
That is incredible. Congratulations on your success. So what are all the points of virality? That's a great tagline. I must ask you that question, or at least many of those points of virality. What makes it, this is the holy grail of questions, right? It's the thing everybody wants to know. Are you listening, folks? Do you want to know this? What makes a video go viral?
The number one thing is being able to spark emotion. If you're able to spark someone emotion, whether that's through humor or laughing, but also to the point where I always say that people talk about comments like engagement level is something that really drives home with all of the social media algorithms. And the way that we measure that, likes, reactions on Facebook, right? But also in the shares that they have. But the number one thing that people tend to focus on is the comments, because they're actually reading what people are saying. And I always tell people that comments, to me, if you look at the number of actual engagements, people can do something, we call it voting for their attention. You can like something, you can react maybe with a heart or something, you can share it, and in fact, you could also just watching the whole thing, but you can also leave a comment. But generally you find that people that we call trolls, or they're writing comments, or they're supporting, and they're loving, and they're saying, hey, this really hit home for me, any one of those things, it's just another form of engagement. And so a lot of times I tell people, we may have had 300 comments on this, and yes, these people were definitely trying to argue with you, but we have 12,000 people that shared it. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole lot more people that wanted other people to see this than tried to argue with you.
Right. So would you say don't be afraid of polarization?
Absolutely. In fact, sometimes I almost seek it, because that's what sparks people to react and engage with that. And that's, going back to what makes something go viral, is that when it's something that is timely, it's on topic of something that's kind of current events, or something that pain point that people might be experiencing, but also if it's controversial, it will absolutely do well. But people would be surprised that it's not about quality of production. That's the one thing it's definitely not. It's about the story. It's about, okay, if you record a 10-minute video, try to cut out the ums and ahs and I thinks and things like that, and try to add some supporting B-roll, and make sure you put the subtitles and add a little progress bar. Those things are not high production. That's just simple editing. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it's about getting things out in the right time. It's coming out, talking about it, tuning it down to where you keep someone's attention. But then for us, what we've done was we have a very specific proprietary process that we've developed over the years of trial and error on our own and seeing a lot of success on, is we work with the algorithms. So we have a network of over 300 million people combined through our partnerships, through social media communities and influencers alike. And essentially what we do is let's say we got a video that meets all of the requirements. It's got the engagement loop, it's got all the things, the first 3 seconds, it's controversial, and it's asking them to leave a comment or something. And it's also another key factor that I like to talk about that I almost forgot to mention is that in order for something to truly go viral, it needs to have absolutely no ask. So put out a video and you want it to go viral, just end it with something inspirational, powerful, or some sort of message. And if anything, just ask them to leave a comment or share it. You can ask for that. But other than that, if people feel like you're trying to promote something and what you're trying to do, it just does not promote it. It doesn't succeed like the other ones do.
So don't even say, subscribe to my channel below. Don't even do that. No asking.
I think especially we're talking about two things. That would be like Facebook, and the shares that I'm talking about will most happen on Facebook. Yeah. I think YouTube's definitely different because it's
there. It would be like my page, right?
Sure, yeah, exactly. Hitting the thumbs up or down, hitting the bell, subscribe, those are all very powerful. The other thing that I like to mention is that in the essence of doing all of these things, once you have it finalized, you can work with Facebook by I call it like tipping Facebook, is that you pay Facebook $1 or $2 and just have them promote your audience. And we do this through a combination of custom audiences. We do this, through a specific process to know that, like, hey, as soon as we promote it, we boost it, we use the custom audiences, and then we use that network I was just mentioning, which is we get very specific related audience. So like if this is something around something very inspirational, we have partners that we work with where we don't have everybody share it. We only work with the relevant audiences. And by doing this, it essentially, the algorithms see everyone engaging with it. They see all the comments happening. You're paying Facebook to show it to your biggest fans. And essentially what it does is it just lights on fire. I mean, it's time and time again, if we've met all of these requirements, and when it's not successful, we usually go back and go, you know what, we thought it had this, but it doesn't. And it's just time and time again, if you follow the formula, it's a success.
That's fantastic. Do you want to share any of the actual links or, you can't really share links in an audio, but any of the videos people should look up, just, maybe say the name, they can search them, hopefully not on Google, but Bing instead. I just think Google is too big and powerful. That's a side discussion.
Yeah, one of them would be, you look up Aubrey Marcus, that's AubreyMarcus, and the video is What is the Psychedelic Experience? And that video, I think we got I think it has 30 million views.
Oh, just 30 million, not 50 million? Wow, I don't know. Do you really call that a success?
Yeah, and it was controversial. It was talking about psychedelics, and we were able to put that out on psychedelic communities, and it followed all of those things. And time again, it also didn't have any sort of ask. It was literally just his desire. It was very creatively edited as well, but it was a great.
Well, for that audience, it better be.
Right. Yeah, another one would be, as I was mentioning, another great example would be the video with Jamie Wheal. It was Jamie Wheal. His last name is spelled Wheal, and the video was "This Is America." So you can go to his page and be able to find that video there. Also, was pretty awesome watching that light on fire because we got 1 million views, I think, within about 4 days.
Awesome. That's incredible. Hey, just a technical question for you. I've never noticed, I don't really edit videos. I've dabbled around in there before, but I've really never noticed how do you put a progress bar in a video? How do you technically do that? I don't think that's a part of video editing software, is it?
No, so what we do is utilizing like Adobe Premiere, we basically it's a scale option. So we basically start at the very beginning and we have like let's say it's a yellow progress bar, for example, and we'll start it at maybe a 1% size, and then we just put it to 100% at the very end. So it just slowly grows.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I was kind of concerned that could get complicated with timing and things like that. Okay.
Yeah, pretty simple.
Good. Did we talk about all the elements of virality?
Yeah, I think the engagement piece is really important. So a lot of times what we do is if it's within a company or friends and family is that once you've posted that video, is try to get anybody and everybody to go look up the video, find the page and search for it. And leave a comment and share it. And it's really powerful what just 10 to 20 people, if you have a company and you have an audience, just send an email sharing that video or finding ways to get your truest fans or your biggest supporters to actually go and help you with that engagement. On the Instagram world, they kind of call it the Instagram pods. Those are kind of a kind of popular thing. It happens on Instagram there. But these algorithms at the social media channels, they really want to see engagement. And so you don't want to fake that, but having people that help get that fire started really does help.
Yeah, good stuff. Do you use chat bots for commenting or anything like that?
Yeah, well, we use it for authentic engagement that's basically automating certain things. So, for example, in the video, you can say, if this is something that you'd be interested in if you were doing a promotion, you can say, just leave a comment down below and we'll send you the information. And there's some really amazing software out there called ManyChat. It's just ManyChat.com. They have an amazing service. I just went to their very first conference that they had. It was such a profound, eye-opening experience because I thought, okay, this chatbot thing, AI, that sounds cool. But the features that they've put in there have really allowed you to set up, you can set up automated rules to where if you just leave a comment down below, the bot will do a few things. It'll add them to a subscription. So it'll subscribe them as a bot, to their bot thing. And it'll send them a direct message that they can then, basically that link will send them to a page where they can sign up. And then so you get them to sign up as a bot subscription. You also can get them a click on their landing page so you can retarget them. And then you also can get them to sign up to the email. Or one of any of these three are powerful enough to do whatever marketing efforts that you need.
Okay, so with the ManyChat bot, when you're talking about the example you just gave us, are you talking about the Facebook platform? You're talking about Instagram? You're talking about YouTube, or all of the above?
Specifically Facebook right now. They are expanding into even things like WhatsApp, and they're working into email. They're working on Instagram API right now as well. But specifically for Facebook, because you can do it with ads, and you can actually put a chatbot to where if someone just clicks on the link, it'll send them to your automated chat message. And automated communication is becoming a massive thing. And I think that for example, you call an 800 number and you're getting these bots and it's the same thing, but they're kind of annoying to work with. But if I'm able to not have to listen or talk to any service on the phone and I can just click on a page and within a few yes and no answers, I can get what I need. Mm-hmm. They're finding they have some research showing that people are much more prone to being willing to be a part of that. And I actually realize as I've done, people that are doing it well, I have a few services that I use and I actually like it when they message me. And so as long as, marketers tend to kind of screw everything up sometimes, but as long as everything's doing things appropriately and not trying to spam you, in fact, they've actually done a great job of weeding that out too, is that if you're a person that sends things too much and it feels like it's spam, they'll suspend your account. But yeah, I think it's really about doing it right, doing things in an authentic way that extends your communication and not feel like you just need to try and make a sale. I think that we will see that continuously rise, and I feel that being able to automate, that's scalable, because if I can have 1,000 people, on an advertisement, click on or leave a comment or click on that link, and now they're in my chatbot marketing system, but they're also in my email system, I can retarget them as well. These are all various opportunities to reach that individual in a way, as long as it feels authentic, we'll be successful.
Fantastic. Very good advice. Thank you for joining us, CT. Appreciate it. And give out your website one more time.
It's WizKru, WizKru.com.
All right, everybody. Happy viral videoing. Good luck out there. Thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any episodes. Be sure to check out the show's specific website and our general website, hartmanmedia.com, for appropriate disclaimers and terms of service. Remember that guest opinions are their own, and if you require specific legal or tax advice or advice in any other specialized area, please consult an appropriate professional. And we also very much appreciate you reviewing the show. Please go to iTunes or Stitcher Radio or whatever platform you're using and write a review for the show. We would very much appreciate that. And be sure to make it official and subscribe so you do not miss any episodes. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.